listen, Diddy lucked out with that judge. And if you are in court, I hope you go to Judge Aaron. Diddy lucked out with that judge. Judge Aaron does not believe in anything more than necessary, okay? Just sufficient. I would argue, how do you know what's sufficient when everybody's faking? But I think that's why Judge Aaron probably gave 5 years probation, because Judge Aaron's goal, and I see what he's thinking. Judge Aaron's goal is like, listen, there's only so much I can give under the Mann Act before this becomes an issue where I did a departure and they're going to appeal it. He's concerned with the victims. He's concerned with the fact that the girlfriends, right, or whoever he dates, the sex workers, are in danger, and this type of violence is whatever. He's concerned that Diddy's mom is old and she might pass away. He's concerned that those kids lost their mom and he doesn't want to leave orphans, right? He's concerned with all that stuff. And he's concerned that he doesn't want more victims, first and foremost. So when you think about it, that 2 years time served, maybe even 3, I'm not 2 years time served, sorry, the 2 to 3 years that he may serve, coupled with that 5 years probation, if you look at it like that way, pretty much guarantees that he can't make another victim. I mean, you could, but you go into jail. Think about it. Any woman that he hits, that he violates, any freak offs he has with escorts, any like wild king nights he has where there's Tucci all over the place, they're going to send him straight back to jail. So maybe that's how Judge Aaron was. Listen, he kept saying the law that for punishment that you do what's sufficient, but nothing more than what's sufficient. You don't want to turn this into punishment. He's into rehabilitation. I think Judge Aaron thought he was walking a tightrope where you're going to do time for what you did to these women, but also if my goal is to make sure you don't have any more victims, this 5-year probation should help victims feel comfortable in speaking out. Because if Diddy gets another Jane, he is done. Sarah, welcome to the family. Sarah said, I feel so bad for Cassie and them. Yeah, I know too. Jake Peters, thank you again. And thank you, Alicia, for joining. Also, Sarah said, my baby, was it BD? My baby daddy was sentenced to 10 years and tried as an adult for stealing pew-pews at the age of 15. This is trash. Diddy, and I'm sure Diddy had more pew-pews and scratched off serial numbers. Well, here's the thing. You bring up a good point, Sarah. At the end of the day, Diddy's money and power bought him this case. Diddy's money and power bought him the best lawyers it could buy. It bought him a PR team. It bought him like everybody practicing their statements, him practicing his speech, everybody fake, Westmoreland fake crying. Shut up. Westmoreland fake crying. It bought a lot of stuff. And like you said, people are serving 10 years, right? For stealing guns, for stealing bread. There are still people in court for doing, like, people have gone to court for the craziest, wildest things. For robbery when you only got $50 and nobody got hurt. People are in jail right now. So it's crazy to me that you violated and you did all this and you got 4 years. I would have gotten more if I had literally robbed you on the street. I would have literally and pistol whipped you. I would have gotten more than 4 years. It's actually really stunning. But when you look at Judge Aaron's goal, which was to make sure there wasn't any victims, I mean, maybe it was, right? Again, Cassie seems to be very, very happy. Oh, Alex Fine made a post. Here's what that's Cassie's husband, if you don't know. Cassie is Ventura Fine. He said, letter to women and children. Men who hit women aren't men. This is Cassie's husband. Men who enable it and protect those people aren't men. Clock it. Eat it up. Listen. As men, violence against women shouldn't be inevitable. Check your brothers, your friends, and your family. Our daughters, sisters, mothers, and wives should feel protective and loved. Hold the women in your life with the utmost regard. Men who hurt women hate women. To all the survivors, find the men and women who help and love. To all the survivors, your stories are real and people believe you. To all the survivors, you're not alone. And there are men and women who care only for your well being and safety. We want you to succeed and flourish. To all the women and children, I'm sorry you live in a world where you're not protected and you don't feel equal. I want to raise my daughters in a world where they feel safe and loved. To the abusers, you're done. You're not safe anymore. You're not protected anymore. The men by your side are just as weak. You're so miserable with yourself that oh my God. Look at this. Hold on, I gotta rewind this. He said to the abusers, I assume he's talking to Diddy, you're done. You're not safe anymore. You're not protected anymore. The men by your side are just as weak. You're so miserable with yourself that death would be considered a kindness. Clock it. Clock it. Now that's the energy I want. Clock it. Because that's the energy we need to keep. Clock it. Clock it, clock it, clock it. That's what it is to the abusers. Listen, Alex Fine said, I wrote this a while back, but the words ring true, not just today, but every day. I want my kids and every kid to live in a world that's safe for women and girls, protects them and treats them as equals. To the women and children, you're not alone and you are heard. If you need help, call the domestic violence hotline at 1-800-799-7233. That's right. Clock it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Diddy was in court carrying on, acting a fool, wiping his face, fake tears. Man, this court sketches are sending me though. Because Diddy was legit acting a fool in court. But again, like I said, I think the important thing to remember is Cassie's happy. Jane has not commented. Cassie seems very, very happy. Listen, Alex said death will be too good for you, you dog. I guess that was a warning to Diddy that there better not be any retaliation. Now, I have heard that some witnesses were afraid of retaliation because they said Diddy holds grudges. Diddy says that he's grown a lot and he's not the same person and he's going to work on his rehabilitation. I know nobody that was ever close to that court better ever get hurt, because if it does, we will be looking right at Diddy, looking right at him. You know? Listen. Hold on. I do know that they'll be looking right at Diddy. But again, it's just like, yo, I'm going to be real with y'all. I guess justice was served. I am going to be, hold on, is there an echo? I'm going to be real with y'all. Okay. I'm going to be real with y'all. I actually do think that when you look at it and you look, listen, I think that when you look at it, I don't know. I guess justice was served. And that's the thing. Let's have a sober moment for a moment. Hold my hand. Come on, let's talk. Sit down. Let's talk. You know, my dad told me something a long time ago that always stuck in my head. And it's when, like, you know, you're young and you think like the universe bends to good, which it does, but you think about it in a very Marvel comic way, not in like a real world way. And when people do you wrong, people betray you, they do you wrong, or like job, friend, man, lover, like whatever, pick your thing, right? And you feel like, no, that's not right. Like, you can't treat me like you need to pay. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. And my dad told me an important thing. He's like, listen, Tisa, sit down, right? Sometimes you don't get revenge. Sometimes the only revenge you get is being able to walk away. And like, I think I was like complaining about like, you know, job at Taco Bell or something. I was young. And it always stuck in my head that one of the things that is the most, it's not disappointing in life, but it's one of those things you have to learn. And when you finally do grasp this concept, you truly do grow up. And when I say grow up in that way that you're able to give forgiveness, because forgiveness isn't saying, oh, the way you treated me was okay. Forgiveness is saying that I get to walk away. My revenge is that I walk away from you and you never darken my doorstep again. Sometimes you don't get the thing like, yeah, this is justice and blah, blah, because there are, maybe Diddy will rehabilitate. I don't know. But there are people that they never get it. They never rehabilitate. They go from one thing to the other. There's never any self-reflection. They spend all their time trying to keep their trauma and keep their burden and try to give it to other people to carry instead of unpacking what's actually. There's people that they're never going to heal. They're never going to grow because. And here's the thing. I don't know about Diddy, but I think he might be this type of person because a lot of people, especially in this sick society, they believe that when you can hold that pain and anger in, that's what fuels you. That's what drives you. That's motivation. They hold on to their trauma for so long. And the trauma is not an excuse, but you hold on to the trauma for so long, you don't even recognize yourself without the trauma. The trauma is what made you grow. It made you build. And anything, you think the trauma actually might be good. Right? Because it's without the trauma, who are you? Right? Where's your motivations? So it's kind of like some people don't want to let go of their burdens. They just want to place it on other people to carry. They don't want to unpack it. They don't want to do the work on self because doing work on yourself is a lot. It goes through stages. One, you have to recognize what's wrong with you. Two, there's that weird phase when you recognize what is wrong with you, but you don't know how to stop your actions. And three, you're working on stopping your actions, but you keep winding up in the same place. And then four, you finally learn how to correct your behavior. It takes a lot of work. You have to really, really, really want to be a better person. From the bottom of your heart, you want to literally have an ego death and destroy who you are, the image that you build up yourself of who you are. Break that down to the white meat. And once you do, right, break that down. I was thinking of something. Break that down to the white meat. And once you do, you have to rebuild. It's like that old Buddhist thing where they're like, everything, in order to build a new, nothing new can be built on something old. It must burn. It must burn in the fire of ego death, burn in the fire of redemption, burn in the fire of salvation, burn in the fire of things anew like a phoenix. And once you burn everything down, then you can build up and start anew. It is, when they call it an ego death, it is because that version of you is gone. It has died, and you are building a new version of yourself. I do not think, based off of the letter, Diddy's actions and his lawyer's actions in court, that he is anywhere close to that. But that said, sometimes, right, you don't have to keep it honest. Sometimes the law will keep you honest. And maybe that 5 years on probation will, in fact, keep Diddy honest. But this goes back into when you are dealing with people that who they are, for better or worse, is so tied to their trauma, so tied to their pain, right? That they're never going to get it. They're never going to reflect. That is when you give yourself the gift of moving on and walking away and accepting reality for what it is. You don't have to like it. It doesn't have to stay that way, but accepting, I have no control over this other person. I can truly never make you feel sorry for what you did. I can truly never make you feel remorse. I can truly never make you be the person I think you can be, I want you to be, or who I think you should be. This is officially a waste of my gifts and my life energy to stay here arguing with someone that wants to stay stuck in the pits of hell. So because of that, I will take my revenge by walking away. Now, I know when I was like 14, my dad told me that what I was going through was not even that deep. However, as I grew older, I started seeing it and applying it to situations that I saw, situations that I observed, situations that I were in. And I think the Diddy case is one of those things where we have to realize the courts are not going to fix what's wrong with this man. He's going to have to fix what's wrong with him. If he doesn't fix it, he's going to be back in jail. If he does fix it, okay, good. Welcome to humanity.